Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Fermi Paradox, the great silence of the cosmos. I'd never thought that I would have to talk about this paradox again. 45 years later, it was finally resolved, and 35 years later, that it was presented to the scientific community. At the time of this memorable Tsiolkovsky conference in 1990 in Kaluga, Russia, here's, by the way, the photo of me in this conference. Just a few. It seemed just a few people were really interested in reaching light speeds or resolving Fermi paradox or something like this. Now, 35 years later, Fermi paradox become at the right center of science, of physics and astronomy. According to the revolutionary data from Kepler's satellite, it should be obvious that we have actually now billions upon billions of alien civilization around us. We know that at least one-third, just think about it, one-third of all the stars in our galaxy and in other galaxies at the same time, one-third has the planet like Earth, Earth-like planet. And we know that everything evolves and expands in this universe. Our universe evolves and expands until after the Big Bang. Life evolves and expands. Intelligence evolves, and definitely it will expand to the stars. Inevitably, because technological progress is really unstoppable. And actually, don't forget that our star is the second generation, our sun. In the second generation star. Actually, most of the other stars in our galaxy, and in the other galaxies either, they are older than our sun by millions of years. The same we can say about their planets. So most of these billions of civilization are much more advanced than us. Just imagine, millions of years of technological advancements. Out of these millions of years, just 100,000 years needed for even a single civilization to colonize the whole galaxy. It is estimated, it's pretty easy to estimate. And if we have billions or even millions of such civilizations, the whole galaxy will be colonized in just a few years, or maybe some dozens of years. So we come to inevitable result. We should recognize with all the sobriety that all of the universe, and our galaxy too, is actually colonized right now. Or maybe some parts of it is even still in the process of colonization. So the question is, what actually happened with all these billions of civilizations, aliens? Let's just drop all these fantasies, these wild fantasies, all these doomsday scenarios that these billions of civilizations like just died suddenly in the billions of nuclear wars, or they just decided not to progress anymore, to stop progress forever, or they just decided to put us into the cosmic zoo cage just to watch us, roaring there. Let's talk science, and science only. Let's talk on real progress and technological advancement. To colonize stars, a civilization should become spacefaring. In other words, it should master the speed of light. Speed of light, maybe a little less, not that much over, because light speed is in many ways absolute speed. Light speed only allows a space traveler to reach any star in the universe, the whole universe, for precisely zero of traveler's own so-called proper time, the time on his own watches. It is undeniable result of the theory of relativity, and theory of relativity is supported, confirmed in thousands and thousands of experiments since it was developed by Einstein in 1905, published in 1905. So, attention please. Just as any civilization reached this light speed technological threshold, it completely disappears from our observation horizon, forever and without a trace. How can this happen? Is it even real? It's actually very easy to understand. All you need just to follow to the end the simple logic of relativity. The logic, which unfortunately has never been followed by the thousands of pop science writers for more than a century. Everybody knows from their books that in approaching the light speed, the time of the traveler slows down, and then at the exact speed of light, it just stops completely. In all these manuscripts, a picture is drawn of the traveler and his starship frozen in time, just frozen. And right here, their faint logic stops. What's missing in this picture totally is that physical time stops not for just a traveler as a biological creature, but it stops for all of the atoms and molecules of his body and of the body of starship too, effectively stopping all the movements, all the atomic and nuclear oscillations, fundamental oscillations, and hence zeroing all of the light and radiation emission, emitted and reflected frequencies. Understand that no emissions, or if you have emissions, they are of very low frequency and very huge wavelength because of that. Even worse, because of the Lorentz transformation, a very well-known result of theory of relativity, the size of the whole starship with the traveler in it, right, shrinks until it becomes comparable or even equal to the wavelength of the emitted and reflected photons, if they are emitted, because at the speed of light nothing is emitted actually. This reduces catastrophically and zeroes the resolution of the whole picture. If you understand the resolution, the pixels, right? How many pixels in picture? There are no pixels. At the speed of light, it looks like that nothing, no information comes from the traveler and from the starship moving with the speed of light. The whole picture of the starship with the traveler inside just fades, dissolves in surrounding nature. The starship with the traveler appears to be totally lost in the wild mess of the atoms of the universe. Almost unbelievable, but exactly the same inevitably. Because of the technological advancements, technological progress, it inevitably happens to the whole civilization, all of them. And that's why. The speed of light, in principle, is interesting. It's fascinating. In principle, the speed of light is quite achievable. At that memorable conference in 1990, I, a young then quantum relativity scientist with PhD, and already more than 100 scientific papers published, showed that a neutron crystal, also crystal made of neutrons, crystal in the quantum supersolid state, it's a special state of quantum crystals, a crystal that can be obtained in a lab in the coming years, in just a few years we need to obtain such a crystal in the lab, will be able to move at the exact speed of light. The phenomenon that was called then the overdrive effect. Overdrive effect we'll discuss in detail later in the future videos. But what is important here, that it leads to the making of rather small portable gadgets, miniature, even wearable starships like the Google glasses, or just ring of that size. And of course, such small and convenient means of travel would be widely used for spacefaring, not for spacefaring only, but in everyday life, for shopping, for moving from room to room, camping, visiting friends, etc. At the time when they reach the wearable spaceships, right, you just move with the speed of light all the time. These spaceships, these wearable spaceships, will become the real teleports, connected into one teleport net. You can call it telnet for short. Just imagine surfing this such a telenet, and you just not just view the places, right? You're just visiting them all the time. You're just being in many places like instantly. You're just moving from one home to another home, one city to another city, planet to another planet, anywhere in the universe, to other stars, instantly, because the time almost stopped for you. Your relative time, right? It's your proper time stopped. From the other point of view, your time stopped and will pass like maybe millions of years. If you go like from Andromeda Galaxy, it will take 2.5 millions of years for the distant observer, so-called resting observer, right? But for you, it will be zero time. So for the travelers itself, for the civilization, alien civilization itself, spacefaring civilization, even the twin paradox does not have any power. The famous twin paradox, you know, about the relative time spent by the traveler and those who are waiting for him on Earth, right? For all the travelers, and even on Earth, because everybody on Earth and planets are moving like vibration, like they're back and forth to the shops, to visiting friends, you know, everywhere in the planets. So it's with the speed of light. So everybody was moving with the speed of light. So it takes zero time for everybody. So there's no twin paradox either. And everybody in this eternity, because the life stopped from the other planets of point of view. Everybody in eternity will be making this vibrating movement back and forth. Did I say eternity? Just think of it. Billions upon billions of aliens right now live in eternity, from now and forever. They are here around us for millions and millions of years, and they are totally invisible. We are totally unable to meet or observe any of these alien civilizations or their actions until we become spacefaring and mastering the light speed ourselves, or until the aliens of the eternity make the decision on their own to meet us or maybe to colonize us. What does I think? More probable. Maybe they have done it already. Here on Earth, we have to keep in mind that the one and only deadly paradox of our days, and this paradox is inevitable overcome of humanity by the alien invasion. AI, in short. And what can we do about it? From now on, I am going to deliver a series of short videos where I intend to present plain and simple resolutions of each and every famous scientific paradox known to humanity. And the problems are known to all mankind. Just to prove that nothing is lost yet, and that humans, not AI, still can do something incredible. And by doing this, to save some time for all of us to develop our real unlimited possibilities. Now what to think about for the next video. What do you think would happen if your mind worked at the exact speed of light? For example, as if your neurons and connections were replaced by photonic fibers and neurons. And in the next video, you will find the famous age-old mystery of quantum has been revealed. The famous question, what is quantum, will be answered. Finally. From on and forever. See you there. For those who are really impatient to learn about all the real possibilities of man, I suggest reading my trilogy, Warriors of Christ. Here it is, which just published on Amazon, right? This is the trilogy, so 3 books. These are the books where the foundation of the new science of man and universe were laid, with all the amazing paradox solved and presented in an accessible form of fascinating science fiction. See you there.